Can you shed a little bit more light on the essentially running the asset after you close? And today's topic is finding that deal, negotiating that deal. And so I'm going to bring that all together. So part of the negotiation process and part of underwriting that process is knowing what you want to do to that property during your ownership. And we call that the business plan. It includes your CapEx. It includes your rent bumps you're expecting to be able to do. And we use third-party tools to reference when we're doing our underwriting and making what we call assumptions. So we assume that we can raise the rents 14% because the competitors are already at that price. We assume that next year we can still raise it 6% because this reference is telling us we should be able to raise it 9%. So that's the way that we underwrite. And that's considered what's called conservative because we're keeping ourselves well underneath the reference and well underneath the comparables that are out there right now. That's considered conservative. So when we find a deal and it works, we're actually excited because we know it's going to do well based off of all the education we have, all the knowledge that we have, the business sense. But essentially you're taking that CapEx plan, you're taking that rent bumps, and that becomes your business plan. And that's what you provide to the lender. They're going to run through it all and decide whether or not they want to lend on it. Once you close on that property, it's your job to ensure that the property management is enacting and moving forward in your business plan. Now, much of that is up to you. You as the owner need to be present. You need to have somebody who's available to initiate a lot of these things. With your property management, you can sit down and have a conversation, but they're the ones that are on site. They're the ones dealing with it every day. So you need to be in consistent and continuous conversation with them about where the property's at, because there can be holdups, there can be stalls, but you need to have good justification for why that's not happening. The reason that I'm pushing this type of conversation is the sooner you can enact the more impactful parts of your business plan, the more money your property starts to make earlier, which means more money and more returns later, which means higher rents sooner, whatever version of that you want to look at. But if you can walk in on the day you close, you get the keys, your new management shows up the next morning, and you can have CapEx people there ready to go with some of your projects that are actually going to be revenue generating, that's a huge plus. If it takes you another 3 weeks of getting quotes, that's a slowdown. Right? Your property is just moving at its own little pace. Granted, property management wants a little bit of time to get to know the property. If you switched them out, they need to learn a little bit about the nuances of the property itself and the people in the property and all that. That's fine, but that still shouldn't hold you up from doing a renovation on a classic unit. It shouldn't hold you up from starting a CapEx project to add a fenced dog park or something along those lines. But that's the quick, let's get the business plan moving. Now, the other side of managing this asset after you close is to be in contact with the lender. And so I know on one of our previous ones, we talked about the fact with small multifamily, like 4 units and less, you just go into the bank or into the broker. Hey, I'd like to get a loan, buy this property. And they look at it and they're, okay, yeah, you have the income, your debt to income ratio, if the business, okay, sure, you guys look like you have enough revenue coming in, go ahead and get it. We'll give you a loan on it. End of story. Just keep making your payments. They're not going to bother you. Well, this is a business of a larger magnitude where that asset has to prove that it is meeting the requirements of the lending. We're talking about multi-million-dollar loans, and they're not just going to give that to you blindly and say, you're good, we'll see you in 5 years. So every quarter you have to basically report off, provide the financials, provide the rent rolls, provide a statement regarding any discrepancies between what is budgeted, which comes in from your property management and is passed on to your lender prior to closing so that they have an idea of where everything's going, where the project's going. I know before we closed on one of our projects, the general partners all had to chip in information on projects that they are involved with to prove the business plan. Well, how do you know that a dog park is going to add value to this property? How do you know that putting a mosaic or a painting on the side of the building is going to improve this property? Here's what's happened at another property that we have done this with. Boom, boom, boom. I'm going to say that's pretty much the quick version of how to manage a property after closing. But
hello everybody, we wanted to thank you for joining and subscribing to this channel. This is a space where we share our experience, we share other speakers' experience, and all of that is aimed to increase your knowledge base for investing in apartments or any kind of assets in the real estate.
If you're looking for specific material, you want some specific material covered, please reach out, let us know at up-plex.com. That's upplex.com. Just reach out, send us a message, and give us some ideas. We would love to provide as much value as possible to you. And if we know what you're looking for, we can do that a lot easier.
Remember, our goal is to elevate all of you with our content, with our partnerships. Thank you, subscribe, and see you around. Bye.
See you guys.